This is an exciting moment for all of us at Time. For the nearly 2 decades that we've been doing the Time 100, it's really become a beacon of influence around the world. What began as a list has now become a global community with the power to solve what seems unsolvable. And we couldn't be more thrilled now to bring into the Time 100 community this remarkable group of people shaping the future.
I am so excited to be here with you tonight for our first ever Time 100 Next. All of you are here tonight because you are doing extraordinary things, because you are shaping the future, because you aren't afraid to reject conventional wisdom and try something new.
We're throwing out the old world, and together we're building a new one, and it's going to be chic. And it's also going to be handicap accessible. What a thought!
Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die as a result of childbirth in the United States, a statistic that has remained unchanged for the last 30 years. All the many women across this country who are speaking out as a result of this issue, these untimely deaths, and that gives me the motivation to move forward, the sense of urgency to not just legislate, but to save lives. And I know that with this generation of millennials in Congress, we're going to be able to do just that.
How did you experience stereotypes when you were growing up, and what did it feel like to break those stereotypes with your work?
You know, the only way I can describe growing up with stereotypes is walking into a room with strangers and having all the strangers know what you're gonna, they think that they know what you're gonna sound like, how you're gonna act, what your background is, the food that you eat, the things like that. But I spent a lot of my life absolutely shattering them, not actively, but literally just by existing.
If you need an example of their spirit and their resolve, just turn to Emma Gonzalez, Greta Thunberg, or Little Miss Flint. It's on all of us to listen to these young voices and amplify their message. These young women are a relentless force for good in a society that so desperately needs their passion and fresh thinking. So my toast tonight is to these teenage girls. To girls everywhere, may you know how much power you have to change the world.
So when I talk about climate change, I relate a lot, for example, with my son, because he's 6 years old, and he's going to live in that world. That, I mean, it might be very tough to live in that world. So I want to provoke change now, so I can look at him at the eye and say, I did the best, and actually we managed to not having this problem for your future.
When my faith in others was shaken, I looked inward. It was difficult and scary, but once I pushed past the self-judgment and fear, I rediscovered a deeper goodness. Each of us has the power to look inward and reconnect with our true self and rediscover a deeper goodness. This is our source of compassion. This is the most powerful fuel for change. This is what makes me hopeful.
My vessel, my vehicle for service is literature, specifically literature for young people, and more specifically, literature for and about young people of color. So my toast is for them. But I gotta be clear, not just the ones who are convenient for you to love, not just the ones who are on a college track, not just the ones who are interning in your programs, not just the ones that y'all feel safe around, but the ones who are complex and challenging.
Let's give it up one more time for Jason and Ali and all of our amazing speakers tonight, and all of you guys in the room.